Today, the temperatures were in the mid-90s, and you could really feel the heat stepping outside. The Weather Authority's Rebecca Berry is standing by with just how hot it will get. But first, let's get to Channel 4's Destiny Amiker, who has been talking with people all day about ways to beat the heat. This is just a look at one of the deep cracks that the mayor saw. Coming up at 11 o'clock, I questioned the mayor, how long is it going to take to see some type of results here for the people who live here at Fairway Oaks? He gives me an actual timeline. Tonight at dinner, the king told us that the biggest highlights, or one of the biggest highlights of the trip, was meeting our own royalty, President Barack Obama, and of course the First Lady. This is an area that has a lot of different old oak trees, and again, this is part of the damage. You're looking at a fence that has been uplifted. You can see the damage here. And President Donald Trump promising quick action on finding a replacement for former FBI Director James Comey. Police are working to learn how a man ended up in water after a body was found this morning in Brunswick. The man was reported missing just after 9:30 last night. Police say 67-year-old Walter Starling did not come home from a fishing trip off Homer Wilson Way. Local attorney John Phillips tells News4Jax Officer James is the same person who hit and killed Blaine Land last month as he was crossing University Boulevard. JSO says Officer James was on his way to a call out when the crash happened. Right now, a woman is fighting for her life in the hospital after police say her SUV caught fire. The crash happened around 3:30 on Beach Boulevard near Cortez Road. Police say a white pickup truck crossed the median and hit the woman's SUV. That's right, Ken. I'm meeting a lot of fans. I'm meeting a lot of characters as well, including Yoda here.
Judge me by my size, do you?
Okay, look, Yoda, no one's judging you by your size, but a lot of the fans who are coming to this after party are definitely judging the premiere of the Star Wars, the movie, and they had some great things to say. Check this out. This is a 360-degree view of what residents have to come home to every single day as they wait to be approved by FEMA. They've been looking at this wood, this furniture for the past 11 days, and tonight when I spoke with the mayor, he says he's ready for his city to be approved. Folks who lived in this house, they've lived here for 23 years, and they never thought they'd have to remodel this house, well, at least until Hurricane Matthew hit. Now, many people in this sanctuary community only got about 1 inch of water in their homes, but this one sustained the most. They got about 8 inches. And after this hurricane, all we're seeing is flooring on the ground, rubble, rugs, carpeting, all lining the streets.
For some, paying it forward is an act of adulthood. But on Suffolk Avenue, that act comes in the form of 2 boys and their wheels. That's Tykees in the striped shirt. His friends call him TJ, but we'll get to him in a minute. This is Gerald.
Good.
And that's how he feels today. But just 2 months ago, someone stole this 7-year-old's bike. And that's when this 10-year-old stepped or pedaled in.
We mostly play football and soccer and play sticks.
Who wins?
Mostly me, because I got
all the time.
I got all the skills. I got all the skills with the sticks.
Like any friendship, these boys are always in competition. But when TJ heard Gerald's bike had been stolen, this 4th grader put their playful rivalry aside.
I had $911 at Brent Mart, but my teacher added some more because I've been doing good and all throughout the past few days.
TJ used good behavior at Brentwood Elementary to help buy the bike that he promised his best bud. And on Wednesday afternoon, TJ's surprise was revealed.
I said thank you, and I was keep saying it because I really miss my old bike, so I told him 3 times.
And Gerald's mother even broke into tears.
You hear about adults paying it forward, but not a 10-year-old child to a 7-year-old.
Gerald is now back in action, doing wheelies and tricks with TJ. And now they have plans to share their friendship with others by starting a bike club. But the boys say this friendship is just getting started.
As people say, they love their friends really much. I love this one very much.
If this was your house, would you call the contractor or would you call the cleaning lady?
I'd call everybody.
Now, is this something?
What's that?
This is something.
Oh, yeah, yes.
That was the visible frustration of a mayor who heard the cries of his people and decided to not only step into their homes, but into their shoes Wednesday afternoon.
How can you fix when it crack like that? You can't, once the ground is settling, ain't no way you can fix it.
This crack is from one side of the house to the other side.
The mayor visited nearly a dozen homes in Fairway Oaks after receiving an email last Thursday from Homeowners Association President Nathaniel Borden. He invited the mayor to see the cracking slabs and sinking homes himself after the city sided with Habajaks, who said the homes were simply poorly maintained.
They actually shut down Golf Brook because of this issue. They got $3 million from the federal government to actually tear down all these apartments back here. And in those reports that I'm going to give you, it's stated in there for them not to build back on this land.
But Habajaks did. In 2000, these 85 homes were built in 17 days. And according to our third-party inspector, it takes 28 days for concrete to even cure. Today, the mayor was visibly shocked with what he uncovered.
So what caused that?
Methane gas is coming up from the ground.
Everybody back doors.
Mayor, this is one of the homes that has this corrosion of a door. You'll see this on a lot of the homes. We had an inspector come out about a month and a half ago. His name's William Chandler, been doing this for 40 years. And the rust here has been caused because of methane gas and hydrogen sulfide. It's not just a physical issue for the neighbors anymore, residents. It's more so health concerns at this point.
Concerns that the mayor also expressed to these residents, desperate for relocation.
Look, I grew up in a hard working class family, and I grew up experiencing what it means to see my parents get a home, pay the mortgage on the home, take pride in the home. And I can tell you that if they were experiencing this, there would have been much frustration and disappointment.
Disappointment that will now force the mayor to ask Habajaks some tough questions.
And what will you say to them when you reach out?
What's the plan? What are you going to do? Let's get on this. Don't hide from it. Let's get on this.
Do you think relocation would ever be possible or in the future for these folks?
I mean, I think it's premature. We've got to sit down and evaluate all the options and do it thoughtfully. You know, if I give a knee-jerk response and reaction here today, I want to make sure that any commitments that I make that I can follow through on.
We had a remediation company come in and they suctioned everything up, but there's still a lot more.
Kim Popovich is just one of the many homeowners who live inside this quaint Jacksonville Beach community called the Sanctuary. But after Hurricane Matthew, her home, along with almost all of her neighbors, was far from a place of safety or refuge.
There was water everywhere. You were seeping in water, and your shoes were sticking to it, and you could see the water. It had already dissipated, but there was still water soaked in the carpeting and all the rugs.
And now, 72 hours after the storm, this is what her neighborhood looks like from the sky. Rugs, molding, flooring, all piled at least 5 feet high at the end of every driveway after water from the intercoastal waterway rushed through windows, doors, and garages during Hurricane Matthew. And though you could say everyone is fighting a tough battle after the storm, Kim's storm began earlier this year.
I'm almost done with my chemotherapy.
Back in April, she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer.
I did not need this. I lost my mom in June, and it's been a really rough year.
But she says after the hurricane, her neighbors have come to her side, and the home she thought she would be salvaging alone will be flooded with neighbors who want to help pick up the pieces for her and their community.
The community is fantastic. Everybody's just wonderful. A lady who lived next door to me and moved out in 2002 just showed up this morning to help pack some things. So I haven't seen her since 2002. So there's really good people here in Northeast Florida.